All right, this is Robert Swanda, the president of Acmg Sales. Guys, we're going to jump right into this. Pretty excited about today's presentation and training. I want to introduce Cole Snell, the CEO of Life Pro Assets. He's going to be quarterbacking today's presentation. Cole, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. We are so delighted to be here. And I just have to warn you, we got about an hour. Leo and I, my colleague, are going to go a little bit bonkers. We're really excited about, could you imagine we're this excited about life insurance? We are super excited. So my enthusiasm is going to go through the roof, because I kind of stumbled upon something about 3 years ago that massively changed my life. I've been a career entrepreneur. I've been a founder, not a CEO. There's a big difference. If you don't know the difference, talk to a founder about how to run a company, and you probably want to run away. So I'm the CEO today. Leo is the CEO of tomorrow. We're grooming him for that as we speak. But here's the situation. Value is a two-way street. You add or you extract. I learned 3 years ago as a founder, 30 years as a founder, I learned 3 years ago, the most valuable asset in the world is whole life insurance. You know how I did this? Trial and error. I had to succeed and I had to fail. I had to try really, really hard at both to get to where I am today. And I can confidently say that the value of properly designed life insurance is really the only opportunity that we have for today and for future generations. So we're going to show you in this presentation a few things that we've learned. So first off, Leo and I are both financial advisors. I am in Toronto, Canada. He's in the United States. We do the 90% of our business in the United States. We're pointed at that amazing country. I'm here to really share with you the idea that people will do for a child, which they will not do for themselves. So we're going to start talking to you today about a concept that we have, a marketing concept that we have. It's not illustration software. What this is a first meeting qualifier. This is what you use in your first meeting. Imagine showing up to a meeting and talking and hitting people where it really counts for their children through the lens of a child. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Parents will do for that child, which they would not maybe do for themselves or their business. So we're going to try and wrap this up in about 35 to 40 minutes. We're going to nail you with information, and then we're going to open up to questions, because we know you're going to have all kinds of amazing questions at the end. So we're pretty fired up to be here. Child Millionaire. This is the solution to the biggest problem in the world. Everybody needs life insurance. Hey, life insurance has a terrible reputation. It can't have that anymore. It's got to end. I thought it did 3 years ago as well, until I realized that banks own more life insurance than any other asset class. Well, why do they? Because it's the best asset that you can own. We're going to break down how to incorporate that asset on your children and also in your life. So let's rock and roll right away. So let's hit the next slide, Leo. Great. So Leo and I are going to tag team this presentation. He's driving, I'm talking, and Leo's going to do the talking for the second half. So here's the bottom line. But at the end of this presentation, we're going to show you how to add $60,000 to your practice and send your business to the moon. Again, my name is Cole Snell. This is Leo Fernandez. I am an infinite banking practitioner and the proud founder of the solution to what we believe is the biggest problem in terms of selling life insurance and showing up with credibility. Leo Fernandez, advisor in the United States, licensed in multiple states. And we're here to talk to you about a number, 90%. 90%, let's think about this number. It's a big number. The average number of insurance agents who are out of business within 3 years. The question is why? According to Advisor Coach, there's this guy named James Pollard. He's written about 6 books. And what he does is he crushes data on advisors. Why are advisors successful? Why do they fail? Most insurance agents quit when they aren't able to generate business in quantities great enough to sustain themselves. Frankly, they never learned sales and marketing. So you're a financial advisor that wants to be a salesperson and no, you're a financial advisor. You don't want to be a salesperson and marketing. So imagine if you had the tools to take the marketing and the sales out of the way. Imagine you're able to show up and not have to sell anything. And all you had to do was actually talk to people and hit them with a massive amount of value. See, sales has a bad reputation because people think they're being sold something all the time that they don't need. People need life insurance. They actually need life. They don't know that they need it, but they actually do need it. And we're going to show you and appeal to you as to how they can relate to that need, and also put some dollars in the advisors' pockets. Because without advisors out there, we don't have a hope to change some of the demographics that we know about money, which basically alludes to the fact that 47% of North Americans are $200 away or less from insolvency. So we need advisors. We need all of you out there armed with the right tools and the right message to hit people where it counts. They need life insurance. All right, Leo, let's rock and roll. If there are 500,000 insurance professionals in America, 494,000 of them sound exactly the same. I'm an advisor. You're going to have a hard time finding anyone that sounds like me. I'll put it that way right now. I'm not going to be the average. I'm not going to come and show up the way that every other life insurance advisor or financial advisor has. Because, really, if we've been force-fed the same advice for the last 3-4 generations of the traditional buckets that have got us to the point where 47% of us are $200 away from insolvency, really, are we showing up the right way? Is that the right message? I don't think so. So let's show up differently. We have the tools for you that open doors. Here's another number. 65% of the population are visual learners. Most of us try to sell using printed illustrations. We can show you a better way. Let's look at the market. Why the child market is the largest untapped market. This is your portal. This is your gateway. Look at some big numbers right now. 73 million, the number of children under the age of 18 as of 2019. 48 million children under the age of 11. This is about their target market. This is your sweet spot. 8 seconds. Every 8 seconds, a child is born in the US. I decided, and I've been very successful in my practice. I'm already in my business using this strategy over $1 million of commission year to date. And all I do for the most part is talk to people, whether it's a business owner or a parent, a high net worth individual, a low net individual, a person on the street. I will walk up to them and talk to them about their kids. Hey, do you have life insurance on your kids? No, I don't think I need life insurance on my kids. Why would I need that? Let me show you. I literally pull up my phone or my tablet and I walk through the tool that we're going to show you later. All right, let's hit it, Leo. 40%. Here's another number, not quite as big as 90, but it's still a solid number. This is the percentage of the US population that are parents. Most parents are uninsured or underinsured. Okay, we're going somewhere right now. When you put life insurance on a child, and Leo's going to show you this amazing tool that we have for this. When you put life insurance on a child, how much life insurance does parent A and parent B have to have? You see what I'm doing? 1 equals 3. We love that. All right. They are also using the wrong vehicles to save and grow their money. The question is, how do you reach them? Oh yeah, P.S. We didn't even mention the grandparents. There's a lot of potential there as well. Oh, there's a boom I was supposed to say down there. I didn't say that part. There's a boom. All right, look at this young man's face. This young man's face says it all. This young man's face says 2 things. I was born broke and with no chance, or I was born a millionaire. I'm a child millionaire. This kid's face is doing one of 2 things. I'm a child millionaire, or I'm born like the rest of the kids, which probably not even going to be able to afford a mortgage by the time they're 30. And these are facts, right? These are facts. So that expression can mean a lot of different things. Let's help parents see them through the lens of their child. And that young man right there has some lenses, through the lens of a child. Most Americans have no money saved for their children. CNBC and Acorns came together. There's a lot of data on this stuff, guys. This is an opportunity screaming for a solution. I'll know as a founder, I'll tell you the best way to make money, find a solution to a problem. Notable points from the CNBC article. I'm going to read these because it's important. 53% of those polled in a recent, the CNBC article we're talking, Invest in You was the name of the article. The survey said that they didn't open any accounts for their kids. Parents didn't open any accounts for their kids. Of those that have, 32% use, and this kills me, a regular savings account. Oh my Lord. When it comes to putting money aside for their children, many parents feel paralyzed about how much to save and how to get started. Part of the reason is because as advisors, we paralyze them. We literally sit down in front of parents who have a confused mind. And you know what a confused mind does? It says no. We hit them with spreadsheets and acronyms and jargon and financial literacy, the horse that has been beaten. It's not working. We need financial stewardship. We need a system that hits the financial problems in your family or your business to where it matters most, through the lens And I wish I could all have you repeat back to me through the lens. And you're going to say, as a child. I'm going to say through the lens. And you're going to say, as a child. I'm not going to do that, but I wish I really could. All right. Parents are usually most motivated to put money aside for their when their baby is born. But if they don't, they wind up procrastinating. Yeah, we all procrastinate. All right, here we go. Coffee a day. There's a big coffee theme. Can you sacrifice a coffee a day? What would a coffee a day put into a life insurance policy mean for generations to come? Parents can change their kids' financial future for the price of a coffee a day. There it is in print. Our tool will tell the story. This is my absolute favorite slide. This is the headline. This is a desk. Here it is, the solution. Down on the bottom on the right, the solution. The solution, properly structured, mutually owned, dividend paying. That's it. Whole life insurance. I know there's a lot of questions that are coming up. I hope Dave Ramsey's not in the room right now. Well, I actually hope he is. That'd be great. Whole life insurance for 150, 175 years. It has been the best asset that money can buy. Oh, and that money that you're putting into it, yeah, you can use that as an and asset strategy. And that's a whole leverage conversation that we could have. Remember, I'm an infinite banking practitioner and I'm passionate about this stuff. All right, Leo, let's hit it. Here we go. Finally, the tools. So we're going to fast forward here. Go ahead, Leo. Let's buckle up. Let's take a look at this. Let's dive right in. I want to save some time for questions at the end. So we're going to, I'm going to hand this over to my main man, Leo Fernandez here. We're going to walk through some of these tools. And again, these tools are, and this is just loading on our website. These tools are designed for a first meeting. You don't want to pull out a spreadsheet on the first meeting. You want to pull out acronyms and jargon. You want to pull out a few simple data points that we can basically show parents to get some kind of trust, credibility, and allow you to get into that second meeting where eventually you're going to be able to have that second, you're going to have that spreadsheet conversation. You're going to have that illustration conversation. We know that. So everything that you're looking at right now, just to qualify it, 7,000 data points and illustrations from, I think, 6 different mutual carriers in the United States built into the back end of this. This is all plus minus 10% of these 6 different mutual carriers in these numbers. All right. So you're not going to sell from this. You're going to show what's possible from this. Again, this is a first meeting tool. The second meeting, you got to get illustrations, but this is going to allow you to, most importantly, not be like the 494,000 advisors who failed in a 3-year period. This is going to give you the ability to be like the 6,000 of them that were successful. Why? Because you showed up different through the lens of a child. Okay, Leo, let's rock and roll.
All right, guys, that was awesome. Thank you, Cole, for bringing us to this point. So right now I'm going to demo the actual tool for you guys. This is a fantastic tool. The way Cole and I kind of ran into each other, I'm also a licensed advisor, licensed in 7 states, been in the business for over 15 years. And a few years ago, I decided to look into the child market. And last year, Cole and I kind of ran into each other. And I had a missing piece, right? So the missing piece to my practice in marketing that idea was being able to tell the story behind the child policy to the parents, right? Because there's a lot of things that we can do, illustrations, you can print out graphs, whatever the case may be, but stories sell, not illustrations. Illustrations do not sell, they just cause more confusion. So when I saw this tool, I spoke to Cole, I became a subscriber, I started paying for the tool, and I started using it in my practice. And eventually we came together and said, you know what, why not just work together on this thing and educate advisors across the United States on how to use this powerful tool. And after this, we're going to show you what's in it for you, right? So the first and foremost, we want to take care of the client. And this is what this tool is going to allow us to do, is going to talk to that client and say, hey, this is what's possible. See, this is not an end all be all, like Cole said. It's not the final illustration. It's not the final numbers. It's not meant to be used as an illustration, but we use data from illustrations from a lot of the mutual carriers that are in the United States to build this tool. Behind it is very sophisticated equations and so on and so forth that are calculating these numbers. So let's look at a typical parent. We were talking about the coffee a day. The reason why we use that is because it's very relatable. Most people spend money on coffee every single day. If they took some of that, or if they matched that contribution from Starbucks that they're giving to Starbucks every day and put it to work for them and their kids, it can have a powerful effect. And this whole concept was built on the infinite banking concept, where we're going to show people how to leverage this cash to turn it into something greater, right? If you just leave it in the policy, then you know what? It can still do some great things. But the whole point is that you're going to be able to leverage the power of the policy itself to make it do more than just sit stagnant, right? So not only do you have the guaranteed growth in the policy, you're able to use the policy and do other things. And that's what these tabs are here, right? So these are all little mini stories that you can sit down and work with your client on. If you just take a look at here, we have a very dynamic tool up here, very easy to use. And that's what we wanted to do, is make it as easy as possible for you to use in front of a client. So you can be at a Starbucks, right? You can sit down across a family with kids. Hey, by the way, what are you guys doing? You know, that coffee that you bought, let's try and turn your child into a millionaire. So, you know, the average price of a coffee at Starbucks is about $4 or $5. People do it every single day religiously, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. So we're going to say that they're going to spend around $200 a month doing that, right? Let's just look at this preliminary. This first slide here kind of just tells you a little bit of the story. Everything is kind of cool, dynamic here. But right away, you start to see, because we structured it properly, right off the bat, there is cash value growth. Starting here at age 20, you're going to see some values here, 54,000, age 65, 481,000, and at 75, 754,000. One of the things to keep in mind is that we're showing some finality to the program, right? Parents don't want to see them having to contribute to something forever. We do it on a 20-year basis. We show them that after 20 years, you don't have to continue. But one of these tabs down here will show you why the child may want to do so. So they contribute $48,000. That's all they do for the entirety of that child's life. All they do is contribute $48,000 to their future, and that's it. All right. That doesn't seem like a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. But at age 75, they'll have $754,000 in cash value approximately, which is a phenomenal number. What type of legacy is that? But again, the whole purpose of this is to tell a story. So one of the stories that we love, and you know, since we don't have a ton of time, I'd like to just focus on one of these tabs here, and we'll go through some of these other ones too. We'll do one-on-one coaching as well after this call to help people get through this program and go through all the ones in detail. But the one we love here is the family home. One of the biggest American dreams is to buy that first home, whether it's the family's first home, the child's first home, or whatever the case may be. When I sit down with parents, one of their big dreams for their kids is to be able to provide access or the ability for them to buy that first home, right? Because they want their kids and grandkids to just grow up in a beautiful home. So we put this plan together, and it shows what that property value could be, that asset could be in the future. And in each tab, you'll see that we always calculate out to age 70, because the way the situation is right now, age 70, that's the reality, that's the retirement age. So any assets that we build up within the tool are always going to be to age 70. So here we have the $200 contribution. We have a family home. I'm in Florida, so $350,000 buys a big house, but you know, Rob's in New Jersey, $350,000 buys a garage, right? But it depends on your market, right? So here, $350,000 in sunny Florida will buy you a decent home. Maybe not as big as it used to be a few years ago, but still it's a nice house, right? So I'm going to keep it at $350 for now. And let's say you want to help your kid with a down payment. So we're going to show a distribution from the policy. At age 30, they would have accumulated around $77,000 in cash value. And let's say at 10%, is it possible? Yeah, there's $35,000 there. They can put it down 10% after 40 years with a minimal inflation appreciation. That is $922,000 after 30 years, right? 40 years. But let's see if they want to do more, right? So if it's better to put down 20%, that's what all the people tell us at the mortgage industry, right? So let's see if 15% is possible. Yep. And 20, actually in this situation it is, right? But if they want to do more, the tool automatically kicks you out, right? So at this point, if the client says, hey, I'd rather put a larger down payment on that first home, we can show them up to 25%. Well, they're not putting enough money into that policy in order to be able to do that. So this is your first opportunity to kind of say, hey, let's show you what this can do if you bump it up by $50, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I am an advisor. And whenever a client says, hey, let me see what this looks like, I have to go back to the lab, go back and run my illustrations again, come back and show a new hypothetical illustration. Well, why not do it right in front of the client? Why not show what's possible with an extra $50? If they do an extra 50, well, there you go. There goes that 25%. So the tool in most of these tabs has these opportunities for you to tell that story and either upsell or bring it down to what may be more manageable for that client, right? It goes all the way down to 50. And the cool thing is that even after a certain age, if the kid is too old for $50, the tool just kicks it back up, right? So it's realistic in the sense that, hey, this kid is too old, $50 isn't going to do anything. Let's bump it up. The minimum is $100. So that actually drives your compensation. The more money that's put in, obviously you get paid more, but it does more for the kid and it becomes a fancier option for them. So the last one that I want to take a look at is, and all these tools, just to touch on real quick, we have an income property example. We have a lump sum investment at age 50. Let's bump that back up to 200. And as you can see, each slide works separately, but together, right? We have a legacy as well, because throughout this entire conversation, we didn't talk about death benefit. Death benefit is the least important item that we speak about, but due to IRS guidelines, there has to be a death benefit. So in the end, we do talk about it. That $200,000 in the death benefit at age 75, this goes to their grandkids, right? It's a phenomenal option to continue that legacy and that conversation about financial stewardship. But my favorite tab down here, one of my favorite tabs down here is we call it the golden child. And the reason why is because if you're educating your child and you're showing them the exact way of how they should work with their money, how they should invest their money, how they should grow their money, you're utilizing this tool to educate that child, they should want to continue that legacy and continue those contributions beyond 20 years. So after 20 years, the good news is for the parents, they don't have to give it up. If for some reason that child doesn't, quote unquote, deserve the money, it's in control of them. They own the policy, they control the policy, but they do have the option of turning it over. If they choose to do that, if the child has been prepared properly from the beginning, from the moment that policy was issued, and educated on how this works, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to continue. So if they match their parents' contribution for the next 25 up to age 75, look at how the numbers change, and the numbers change right before your client's eyes, right? And that's the true benefit to this platform, is that you never have to leave the platform to have a wow moment between you and your client. These are the type of numbers that will make your client wonder why they didn't do this 20 years ago for themselves, right? And that's where we help you transition as well, from a conversation from the child to the parent to their retirement, and so on and so forth. If you're talking to a grandparent, you're talking about their grandchildren, then you're talking about their savings, where it's at, how you can better solidify their legacy, right? And it's all about planting the seed with the child, because I'm a father, I have a daughter, and I haven't really been spoken about anything when it comes to my daughter, right? So when it comes to my daughter, my ears perk up. When it comes to me, we always have more time, right? So we want to focus on the child, have the conversation about the child, and it's going to lead to a lot more. Hey, Cole,
That's
do you
awesome.
want to?
Hey, Leo, that's really good stuff, man. I want to save a little bit of time for a couple of the other tools, and maybe if you could just go to the very top and click on all, and let's at that $200. I want to show you guys the assets within the asset here. So the asset we're looking at is whole life insurance. So we got at $200. So let's look at age 70, and we're going to flip through all of these toggles. You're looking at about $600,000 there. Click to the next one. About 926 there. Go to the home. 922. $1 million. All right. Now that we'll stop there. So everything I just showed you guys, that's almost $4 million. That's all possible through leverage strategy. That's all possible through taking policy loans, leveraging them and asset strategy, and then repaying policy loans, rinse and repeat, basically using a life insurance contract to replace the banking function. That's a whole other story. That's an infinite banking conversation. We're not going to get into that today, but the underlying back end of this is exactly that. So Leah's going to go ahead and queue up our next tool, and we're going to show you that. And we got one more to show you, two more tools, excuse me, to show you. But what I'm going to tell you guys is that, there's a lot of conversation that people kind of have. They enter into this that, they don't have a really deep understanding about cash value life insurance, and they start trying to compare it and look at it and compare it to an investment. This is not an investment. The minute that you start looking at life insurance as an investment or comparing it to investment is the minute you're going to lose the day. Because what you need to sell to your clients is a life insurance contract, and you need to sell them an investment. We call this and asset. You call this leverage. What do smart people do? They keep money in motion. Where's the best place to take your money to put it in motion? It's not from a bank account. It's from a life insurance contract. Properly funded life insurance contract. Look at a life insurance contract as a business. You can ask any smart person, how long does it take for a business to become solvent, to become cash flow positive? They're all going to tell you 5 years. What do properly designed whole life insurance contracts do in a 5-year period? Well, they start to give you back more than you put in it. That's your bank account. You take that money out of your bank account, and then after 5 years, you go and start buying whatever index fund, crypto you want to buy, more life insurance contracts, gold, go to the casino. We don't care as long as you put it in motion. I mean, maybe the casino is a bad idea, but put it in motion, right? And asset. So yeah, you want to buy funds. Sure. You want to buy investments, but where do you want that money to come from, and what do you want it to look like? I'll tell you, you want it to come from an asset that has done one thing for 150 years, and that's pay a dividend. And there's only one of them that exists, and we're talking about it right now. So that's it, Leo. This is a next tool that we're going to look at. This is not child facing. This is called our income potential tool. We're going to do, Leo, let's try and knock this out in about 7 or 8 minutes. And you're going to see some amazing things also built around the principles of infinite banking, and more importantly, the product of whole life insurance.
That's right. So this one is a tool that we just launched. We put a lot of effort behind it, and there's a lot of mathematical equations behind this. But basically, it's a simple conversation piece again, and that's what we focus on: simple conversation pieces that have an impact. So this particular example here is, a lot of your clients, after they see Child Millionaire, they're going to want to. A lot of them are going to say, "Hey, well, how does that type of program work for me?" Right? So a lot of people are putting money in 401ks, IRAs. Everyone here is in the insurance industry. You guys understand that there has to be some sort of fund that they have that is risk-free and tax-free, right? And the way to do that is through life insurance. So what this does is the next transitional conversation from that child conversation over to the parents, right? So through your planning, through your needs analysis, you're going to find out where they have their money, where they're storing their money now. This tool, what it does very simply, it shows you can go all the way up to $500,000 a year deposits, up to 20 years. You can start a tax-free distribution for retirement, and then also leave money behind for your beneficiaries. So you can still leave a legacy. You ask the client about what they want to do in terms of their face amounts. And you can actually calculate that out. So in this scenario, we're only going to use the 10%, which is 300,000. They're going to start taking out money at 70. They're depositing $25,000 over a 20-year period. Their annual tax-free income is $37,000 a year. That's until age 100, and you can design it however you want. But their tax-free income over that time period is $1.1 million in tax-free income. And what the tool does down here, it shows what the total deposits were into the plan, 500,000, the total amount of wealth that was generated from the plan. That includes a 1.1 million in income and 300,000 tax-free death benefit. So for every dollar that that client put in, they got back $2.84 in value. Now, you know, there's not a lot of quote unquote investments that would perform that way, where you put in $1 and then they give you back almost 3 times your money, and 100% of that is tax free. So down here, we go a little bit further. You can actually show a client, hey, what do you think taxes are going to be in the future? Do you think they're going to be the same or higher based on everything that's going on? And most people would say higher, right? Because we're in the lowest tax bracket that we've ever been. So let's just say, you know, let's keep it at 39, but you can actually change that if you want to go 40. And what it does is it calculates what the taxable equivalent of this money that they're withdrawing would have to be in order to live the same type of lifestyle. So if they're in the at 40%, they would have to be withdrawing from their 401ks, which is pretty risky, over $62,000 a year to match this $37,000 a year. So their total nest egg has to be over $1.8 million. They have a $300,000 nest egg that they're leaving behind. So the total equivalent before tax of wealth that was generated was over $2.1 million, right? So when a client says, hey, you know, life insurance is too expensive, how much more expensive is it really if they see something like this? So Cole, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of stuff. Oh, and Leo, just as a little side note, Rob just sent me a quick question, wondering where the link was for people to sign up and the discount code. So if you can grab that while I'm talking here, you can throw that in the chat.
It'll be in the last slide. Yep.
Okay.
It's on the last slide, and I'll share that with the group.
Yeah, we can throw it in the chat. Maybe that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this tool is, I mean, once you see these kind of things, you can't unsee it, especially if you look at to the kind of the bottom right of your screen, and you say dollars out for every dollar in. I mean, you can't unsee these types of things. And I'll just really encourage you guys to understand. I mean, there's 2 different sides to the whole process of whole life insurance. There's the conceptual side of it, and then there's just the straight product side of it. The product side of it is critical. You have to really understand how the actual mechanics and actuarial science behind the product works. And it has worked for really 150 years. It hasn't broken. It's a standardized asset. It's non-inflationary. It does one particular thing, and it has done that for a very long period of time. And we want to be able to take that to our advantage. So what you're really seeing here is, again, this is a first meeting tool. You're not going to build a policy around this. You're still going to have to be compliant and go to your spreadsheets and work with your carrier and go into that software. But really, if you show up this way and you're able to talk to an individual, a business owner, a parent, somebody that, you know, has a strategy for using $1 2 times, maybe 3 times, in some cases even 4 times, depending on how well they can stretch that out and create that type of velocity. I mean, some of you have heard of the idea of velocity banking. All of you have heard of velocity banking. Imagine a velocity banking strategy, and this is really what I'm trying to get you to do. Imagine a velocity banking strategy tied to a life insurance contract, property design. Every time I say life insurance, I mean whole life insurance, high cash value, max PUA, obviously. So I think, Leo, are we going to do Beans to Dreams, or are we going to do Q&A right away?
Yeah, we'll do Beans to Dreams real quick, because that's how we're going to show them.
Yeah. So one
so
thing
we have
Leo's, sorry, Leo, let me just say this really quickly. Sorry to interrupt you, bro. One thing for sure, guys, is as Leo's queuing this up, is that we all know that one of my absolute favorite things to do in the financial industry is recruit. I love recruiting people. I love going up to other advisors and showing advisors how especially they can show up differently and add value using the Child Millionaire tool. So what we've done is we've created a basic recruitment tool. I love recruiting. I love recruitment is great. It's a great way to create a passive income, build relationships, coach your team, override other advisors. I absolutely love business models that allow for recruitment. I think it's fantastic. And we need to build the 10%. The 10%, I was saying that in the beginning of my chat, is that when 10% of financial advisors can understand how whole life insurance works very effectively and are bringing it to the crux or the entrance point of their practice before they do anything else. For basically, when 10% of advisors understand how to replace the banking function. Now, when I say banking, I don't mean a bank. I mean storage of whatever. If you're a farmer, you want a bank of soybeans. If you're a kid, you probably want a bank of candy or toys. As an adult, I want a bank of capital. I want a bank of cash because I can do a lot with that. But where am I going to hold my money? Well, it has to be in a bank. It has to be in a storage facility of something. The best place to store your money is in a life insurance contract. Once you see the benefits, you can't unsee it. And it comes with the most valuable tool that there is. And that's not money. That's financial stewardship. Because what use is money if you don't know what to do with it? So let's recruit to the idea that Leo's going to show you right now.
All right, so we put this calculator together. We call it Beans to Dreams. We've been talking about coffee a lot today, right? I'm getting a little thirsty. But the coffee bean is the smallest component of a cup of coffee, right? So as you're sipping on that cup of coffee, it had to come from somewhere. The coffee bean is the smallest component. Now, a lot of agents may think that the child policy is not a way to build their business, right? And because it's the coffee bean in the giant world of financial services, right? So what we want to do is we want to show you that going from the child, it's going to open the doors, right? We said at the beginning that we're going to open the doors for you, and this is how you're going to do it, right? So if you master the story, right? So if you master the story of getting that child their first home, making them a multi-millionaire based on how to use that policy the right way, I'm going to just fill in numbers. I usually get some feedback. Hello? Okay. I usually get feedback from the crowd, but we're in the interest of time, I'm just going to fill this out and based on my experience, right? So I master this story. I go out, I go on my iPad, I go on my tablet, I go out there and I talk to 10 families, right? If those 10 families are listening, right? Because it doesn't matter what you have available. There's people that are going to say no matter what. But if those 10 families are listening and they say, you know what, I'll do a cup of coffee a day for my kid, right? Because every parent, I'm telling you, 8 out of 10 parents wants better for their kids than they have for themselves. Most parents that love their kids will think that way. So $100 a month minimum, right? So let's say you go to your clients, they're going to put in $100 a month. You go to 10 families, the average family has 2 kids, right? That's you can look that up, 1.97 kids per household, right? So we're just going to say that out of those 10 families, 3 of them are going to do business with you and they only have 3 kids. They're single kid households, right? So at 50%, and I know there's a lot of final expense guys on here, IUL people, whatever the case may be, throw that compensation model out the window. This is not the same type of product. We're dealing with mutually owned whole life companies. Now, Acmg offers phenomenal contracting with those carriers. Please see them to get actual numbers based on production, so on and so forth. You have access to larger contract values, right? But the base contract level usually on whole life policies, on true whole life policies without bonuses and additional compensation is 50% of the base premium, right? So this is all calculated. It's calculated for the optimal design. So this is, very close to what you can get paid. Now, this doesn't seem like a ton of money, right? But you're only doing 3 kids policies a week at $100 at $38,000 in extra compensation. Now, if you're doing final expense, if you're doing tax planning, whatever it is that you're doing, $38,000 extra for 3 policies a week that generally, once you submit the policy, very quick underwriting, you get paid, right? 38 grand. But this is where the kicker is. It's going to open doors. Remember that slide. Parents are uninsured or underinsured. They're going to need some type of life insurance. So let's say out of those 3 policies, the parents need some term insurance, right? So at a minimum to cover their human life value, we're going to do some term. We're going to do about $75 a month in the household. So let's say 2 of those parents need some life insurance, some term insurance. So now you're going to do 2 term policies a week. In addition to those 3 child policies a week, you're adding an extra $45,000. Now, I know term pays way more than 50%. So just, bear with me. We're talking about the beans of your compensation, right? So this is I would say this is very conservative, right? So we just added $83,000 a year to your compensation by selling 3 child policies, focusing on that, opening the door to the term. And now we're going to talk about a retirement option, right? So life insurance as a retirement supplement is hot right now, right? With all the taxes and, our current administration talking about raising taxes and so on and so forth, people want to put money away. So let's say you do an average one is $500 a month. And this, we did per month because they're a little bit harder to come by. You're not going to do a bunch of those per week unless you're way better than me. And I'm sure a lot of you are. You can probably do a bunch of those per week. But I'm just going to say you do 2 of those per month, right? So now you're at $31,800. We're calculating all of this at 50%. And Rob is probably chuckling right now, like, yeah, we can do better than that. We just added a 6-figure income to your practice by focusing on meeting just 10 families a week. I know there's 100 agents on here right now. Everybody knows somebody with a kid, right? That's under 10 or 11 years old. Everybody knows someone that's starting school. You're going to see all the pictures on Facebook. First day of school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. That's your entire market just opened up, right? School's starting very soon. In Florida, we already started, right? $114,000. So I was actually wrong when in the original email when we said we'll show you 60K. If we drop everything down to one policy, and one policy, now we're closer to what we said in the email, closer to $60,000 a year. And to me, this is a very, pardon my French, a very lazy agent, right? If you're going out and only selling one child policy, one term policy, one retirement policy, after utilizing the tools that we gave you, you should be able to sell way more. So even with one, and we did this on a 50-week working year, so I gave you 2 weeks off, you can still make over 50 grand a year selling one $100 policy, one $75 term policy a week, and one retirement policy a month at a 50% contract. That's insane.
Leo, that was nice of you to give them 2 weeks off, man. That's
yeah.
That's really,
I mean,
really
people deserve, work-life balance, right?
Yeah, that's good. So there you go, guys. Let's spend a few minutes now. Just turning it over to some questions. I saw a few good questions in the chat. Maybe I can, I think I addressed one of the questions in the chat already, which was about investing into, I think it was a Vanguard fund versus say whole life insurance. Again, that kind of gets back to the idea of really, don't look at life insurance as an and or product, looking at it as an and asset. So we want to use it as a baseline place to to store and bank your capital. And then if you want to move into those kind of more volatile type products, then, that's up to you where you advise your clients to leverage into. But, on a leverage strategy, a life insurance contract really is a hedge, which is pretty unique. And then what else do we have in the chat here? Let me take a quick look. And anyone else that has any questions, what is the format for questions exactly? Put them in the chat, I think. Is that right, Rob?
Hey guys, yep. If anybody has any questions, just drop them right in the chat.
Great, thanks. I think I saw a question here about a question that we get asked all the time, so I may bring it up before I even get asked it, which is about IUL. Yeah, here's an IUL. One thing I just found out in trying to do an indexed IUL via a carrier, I was told that the max death benefit, other than the child plan, can only be 50%. Yeah, so that the patient accumulate. Yeah, that's right. So I mean that is kind of the rule that so parents would have to have if you're say putting $1,000, and Leo kind of just pointed this out in the Beans to Dreams. If you have $1,000 on your child's life, you need to have $2,000 on your life. So that's a great opportunity from an advisor perspective to kind of sell that story and keep that moving. I mean, my daughter, who's 11, has $1 million on her life and counting already. So where I'm constantly expanding my strategy. I own 11 whole life policies and counting, and I've only been accumulating for just over 2 years, almost 3 years, I should say. Yeah. So, and let me just maybe address, are there any other questions in here?
Someone just asked how much this costs, and the wealth building cornerstones. Hey Russ, your wealth building cornerstones is a great tool for certain things, but we want to keep it simple, right? So we want to have a simple conversation that you can go to a parent and show them something that's very graphic and a great story. Wealth building cornerstones definitely has its opportunities, but doesn't necessarily touch on this subject.
Yeah, we looked pretty hard at all the other tools that are out there, and they're very, very complicated. And they're we really want to keep it simple. I mean, it's a first meeting tool. It's a credibility builder, and it's a solution. It's a solution tool. So yeah. What does it cost? I think in the link, Rob has been pretty generous. He negotiated pretty hard with us on all of your behalf. So I think we have a pretty sweet deal for you guys. I don't think you're going to find much better value out there anywhere.
You want me to click on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Leo. And here's
That's
one of the
on the next slide.
Yeah, here's one of the unique things, guys. One of our absolute favorite things to do is to meet with you one-on-one. We love training you. We have office hours. We have standing trainings on a weekly basis that you can just attend. You can pick our brains as advisors and all we do, all we do is sell whole life insurance. All we do. I mean, so if you have whole life insurance questions or any other kind of related questions, if you're plugging into a pretty unique community of people who are very successful selling it. And we'd be happy to share some of the way that we build and communicate illustrations to people. Even when we leave these tools and we just go into the actual illustration, we'd be happy to show you that. You'd be happy to join our community, talk to our other advisors and the other people on our team. And we would even meet with you because we are licensed. We can even sit with you and your clients as well. And we do this on a regular basis, and we'd be happy to close some of your clients for you. We have that ability to do that. We actually just met with a couple last night, Leo and I, and we closed a case for an advisor. And it's a great way to learn and to build relationships. The 3 tools, the price shows 2 tools. Yeah, so yeah, there's actually 3 tools there. You get 3 tools for that price. Okay.
Oh, let me jump in, guys. So
yes,
guys,
please.
we worked really hard over the past few months to really perfect this system. Definitely hats off to Cole and Leandro for leading the way with this. You guys, as the brokers, think about how much more life insurance you're going to be able to sell with this, how many people you're going to be able to help, and your contribution to society with this. You really are changing people's lives. I also want you to think about how you're going to be able to expand your business with this system. You can now build an entire agency focused on this, and you can bring on new agents under you and your agency. Now they really are going to have the tools they need to succeed and really write good business. There was a question about the carriers. So right now, we really like Lafayette and Mutual Trust. Just so everybody knows, if you can still use our Child Millionaire program if you're not contracted with these mutual carriers through Acmg. In the example Leandro gave, that was a standard commission level. Obviously, with Acmg, we do offer a lot higher contract levels with that. So if anybody's not contracted with some of the carriers that do offer the type of policies that go with this program, definitely reach out to agent services at acmgsales.com, and we can get you all the info and get you set up with the carriers that plug right into this.
Great, Rob. We
Awesome.
appreciate that.
Hey, can I touch on that one question with the parent having X amount over the child? That's why a properly designed policy will benefit, because we draw down the death benefit as low as legally possible to put as much cash in there. So usually a parent that has insurance through their job and is willing to buy a small term policy would benefit from this strategy. So it's pretty easy to get it going for most parents, as long as they're insured. If they're not insurable, then we have a reason to say why they don't have insurance and why they want to insure their kids. So there's always a way.
Power of the cover letter.
And Rick, to answer your question, the price after the first year is basically the middle column. It goes to $99 a month. But if you are utilizing the software properly, I mean, one child policy will pay for basically the entire year. Any other questions? We're open books.
See a question from Patricia. Patricia, reach out to agent services at ACMG Sales. We are recording this, so we will send out the presentation. We also are going to be posting it in our Facebook group and on our YouTube channel. Rick, is this billed at $75 a month? Leandro, I'll let you answer that.
Yep. So, hey, Snell, Cole, you want to go over the last part of this offer then? All right. So it is built.
So I'd love to, Leo. Absolutely. Yeah. So here's the deal. Okay. So where do you find a deal like this? So if you guys use the tools for 180 days, and we have actually ways of measuring this, and all our tech team is pretty good at this stuff. We'll give you 110% of your money back. That's it. That's the bottom line. It's really straightforward. We have ways to track it. We have ways to measure it. There's not a lot of small print on this. You buy this for 180 days. There's a couple, we have to see you log in to our portal. I think it's like 24 times. You're going to have a hard time logging into our portal 24 times and not having this front of mind and using it and showing up. You're going to make your money back. You got to basically close one case, 2 cases max to make your money back in $175 times 6 months. I mean, that's pretty straightforward stuff. There's not many companies doing out there, but we have enough of a proven track record personally and with our existing base of business to be able to do this. So we are really happy to offer this to you. Jump on this. I don't know how long Rob is going to be giving he worked pretty hard on making us give you a good deal. We appreciate him and really believe in what Rob's doing. I think he's actually doing some super progressive stuff for our industry. And I encourage you to jump on this deal because, at least what you're going to do is you're going to make a 10% return. Life insurance companies pay on average something around a 6 or 7% return. We're going to give you 10. So you know why we can afford to do that? Because our company owns a whole bunch of whole life insurance.
A good question came in from Tom. He's focused on Medicare right now for the last 8 years, but he would love to add this. He doesn't know a lot about life insurance. Do we help novices? Definitely. So first, what you want to do is you want to start with and get the proper contracts from ACMG to make sure that you have the right products to be able to offer this. Life Tech offers one-on-one coaching and also group coaching to our subscribers. Last night, we spent about an hour and a half with one of our subscribers actually doing a client-facing presentation. Now, would we be able to do that all the time? Probably, yes and no, but, we will empower you to go out there and share this with your market. Medicare is a phenomenal market because a lot of them are grandparents. So you can go back to your book of business and we can make you rich. So yeah, Tom, we would love to support you on that.
Leo, can you just go back to the last slide? The little graph showing the payment structure, right? Actually, so I had one of our partners actually just texted me and reminded me, her name's Deb. I think she's on this call. So what we're actually doing as well is we're actually going to cover what Rob's done for you guys. Is Rob has actually negotiated with us to be able to cover the $2,500 one-time fee for the wealth access tool. So we're being paid $2,500 a lot of these systems are built this way. It's quite competitive. It's industry standard to have these upfront fees. So that is waived for you, that $2,500 one-time fee. So that's a pretty massive savings. I just wanted to point that out. Thanks, Deb, for bringing that to my attention.
Awesome. All right. So the 110 guarantee, and again, here's a link.
Guys, I just want to add real quick, as we're rolling this out to the United States, we're talking to some very big, other big FMOs out there. Definitely a lot of big insurance carriers that are looking to add this. So you guys on this call have an opportunity, to actually get in first. The other FMOs that we've spoken to, Leandro could attest to this, but, they're talking about, like I mentioned earlier, building whole divisions, just focused on Child Millionaire and all this. So I'd say, over the next few months, this is definitely going to blow up, and everybody that's on this call has an opportunity to, get a head start on that. And, especially if you're looking to build your agency and, maybe, if you're looking to build a whole team under you, a group of agents and all that, you have an opportunity right now to do that now before these other big FMOs that we're rolling this out to, before they start doing it. and get a head start on you. Just keep that in mind.
Well said, Rob.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So it doesn't look like there are any more questions in the chat box. In the respect of everyone's time, we know that we're going to have to set up a bunch of training calls for all the new people that we're bringing on from this call. We're looking forward to working with you. I'll hand it back over to Rob to close it out.
Yeah, guys, great presentation, Leandro, Cole. We are going to have some more presentations over the next few weeks as we continue to dive into this and roll this out. I want to thank everybody for attending. Any questions, definitely reach out to agent services at acmgsales.com. And we're looking forward to helping everybody grow their business. Hope everybody has a great day today. Thank you, guys.